Hello YouTube. I am in a 2019 Ford Escape. This one's got the 1.5 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder. Today we've got an issue or complaint where the check engine light is on, and after fueling the vehicle up, the vehicle tends to be kind of hard to start. I have an idea what the problem could be, but let's go through this together and see what we find out. So I've removed the two T20 screws that are holding the brake fluid reservoir to the panel here, just to get it out of the way. And we're going to follow this line all the way to the firewall. I'll see if I can get you zoomed in. Okay, so that connector smack dab in the middle there with the red release tab is the hose that goes to the purge valve. So I'm going to try to get that disconnected here off camera. There's no space for me to have the camera going while I'm working on it. I'm going to disconnect it, and then we'll start the engine back up and see if we have vacuum flowing through the valve when the valve is commanded to be off. Okay, so we've got vacuum. I don't know if you can hear it. We've got vacuum coming through this valve even though it's commanded off. What I'll do is I'll unplug this valve here just to make sure that we don't have a weird computer issue. So that valve should be off, but I don't know if you can hear that. But we've got a bad purge valve here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try to remove all the plumbing for this purge valve, but I thought I would just illustrate how to remove this sucker. It's really hard to show when it's in place, so I'll go ahead and just show you with it out. The first thing you need to do is release the locking clip here. There are a couple of ears right here that you just pull on to release the locking clip. Now, just removing the locking clip won't allow you to pull this off of the pipe that it connects to by the firewall there. There's another button right here that you need to push down with your thumb or some sort of pliers. In this case, I used something like this to get down in there and push the button. Once that button's pushed, it'll come off of the pipe fairly easily. So to remove the purge valve and its associated hoses, these are all molded plastic lines that unfortunately don't unplug. You'll need to remove the one in the very back that I illustrated earlier, which probably won't focus, but so you need to remove it from that stainless steel nipple right there. You need to unplug it electrically right here. So there's a release tab. You just pull up on it and pull the plug out. The valve itself just pulls up. It's just on a rubber grommet here. You just need to pull up on it. If you spray some silicone lube in there, that makes it easier. And basically just follow wherever this guy goes. So there's one hose that goes up here, up to the intake. It's got another one of these red locking clips and the button, like so, right, the index finger right there. And there's another one right here at the throttle body. I don't know how well that comes up on camera, but tip of my index finger right there, it's got a similar locking clip. And then you'll also need to release it from these fasteners here, these Christmas tree type fasteners, which you've seen me pull off in my videos before. But get a cat paw tool, cat claw trim remover tool, and pull it out like that. So it's pretty straightforward aside from fighting the connectors. So we've got the plumbing disconnected at the throttle body, one at the air intake tubing. We unclipped it from all of its hold downs here on the valve cover. So there's that. Just take note of how it's all routed. Generally, I like to try to weave this out of here. So undid the Christmas tree fastener on the air box here, removing the air sensor. Just looping that out of the way for now. And we can grab this part of this is the purge valve and the rest of the plumbing here. It's just a matter of trying to get all this stuff out of your way. And we're not worried so much about the old one, but we don't want to kink the hoses on the new part. So there we go. Comes out. Just gotta take your time. So I got the purge valve tubing out of the way, and then realized once I pulled the new part out of the bag that it also comes with this crankcase breather line, so that'll need to be removed from the intake manifold here and over there on the charge pipe. It also comes with a bracket, so you want to loosen this 10mm just to get this bracket off. And just like the other, kind of quick disconnects there, we'll use a tool, something like this, to squeeze and push, and that helps get these out. My thumbs don't work as well as they used to when I was in my 20s, so I'll work on getting the other one off, which is that one right there. So this one in the back here has got the lock clip that you need to remove first. Kind of a pain in the butt to do with one hand, but once the lock's out, go ahead and push on the release tab and wiggle and hope that it just comes out. All right, so we've got the old part removed from the vehicle now, and here's the new part. They are identical. Here is the part number: Golf Victor 6 Zulu 9er Delta 28 9er Echo. The new part has these locking clips in the unlocked position just for ease of assembly. So we want to leave them in the unlocked position until they click into place, at which point you slide the locks in. All right. So just reversive removal here. And just take our time putting everything into place. I really wish they wouldn't have used these cheesy plastic lines, but that's just how it goes. So I know we had one that went underneath. I'm gonna go ahead and release this crankcase tube. All right, just move the crankcase tube out of the way so we can get everything fished in here properly. Just take your time getting everything lined up. So this fastener goes right here. And then these other two connections that are on the far end of the intake here, that charge air pipe, I think is what they call it. Those are pretty much self-aligning. This one down here is pretty much right where it needs to be. Go ahead and snap that one into place. Get this bracket lined up. This other one here that goes to the throttle body with the green lock tab, we'll push that in. Once it locks into place, I'll go ahead and lock that green tab in. All right, and just slowly work our way through this. Kind of nice that the factory Ford one has these clips here, so you don't have to mess with those at all. Anything that you might have disconnected in the process, reconnect. All right, put this nut here. slide the purge valve back under the intake plumbing here. All right, this slides into place like so. I'll work on getting the last connector slid into place on top of that stainless steel tube that's in the back and almost inaccessible. Wish they wouldn't have used such sharp plastics. Kind of reminds me of Volkswagen. Anyway, oh, got it in. Let's see if I can push the lock tab with my finger. All right. All right, it feels tight. Ouch. Look at that. Reasons why I don't like these Fords. So we'll just get everything buttoned up. Okay, so it looks like I still need to get this connection in place for the mass airflow sensor. Okay, so everything's pretty much in place like it was before we removed it. And lastly, the master cylinder here, or at least the reservoir for the master cylinder. Okay, grab my light before I forget it. So we'll do an inspection here with the camera out of the way just to make sure I got everything in place where it needs to be. Go ahead and clear DTCs. I don't care about any of those that are in there. They're all related to this. All right, so everything's normal. We'll go ahead and get into the ECM or PCM here and see if we can do a test on the purge solenoid, see if we can do it with the engine off to see if we can hear it operating. Purge valve. I don't know if you can hear it, but just going to ramp it up and then ramp it back down.
You may have noticed that the valve went quiet when the scan tool was at 100% duty cycle. And this is because at 100%, the valve was receiving constant voltage as opposed to the pulsed voltage when it is running a duty cycle under 100%.
All right, so I took it for a couple of test drives here, got pretty much all the monitors run here except for the EVAP monitor, which of course is related to the part we just replaced. So what I'll do is I'll give the vehicle back to the customer. We are at quarter tank and at 37 degrees. I don't know if the EVAP monitor will even run until the tank's been fueled up and we get into warmer weather.
After the customer picked up the vehicle, she fueled it up and the vehicle no longer stumbled after a fuel up. A couple days later, the EVAP monitor showed that it had ran, indicating that the vehicle is now fixed. If you like this kind of video, please click the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks, and have a great day.